Wake up and smell the coffee, Mr. LaRusso.
Extreme situations require extreme measures.
Yeah, it's probably about it.
Yo, what's guys, about the Cobra Kai Karate. Welcome back to a brand new video. And guys, today we're here to talk about by far the most controversial character in Cobra Kai, Sam LaRusso. Now, I've been planning for this video for a long time, but I kind of wanted to wait till after season 6 so I can get my full analysis on her. And yeah, she has just been by far the most controversial, and she has caused so much hate towards her and the actress, and it's gone completely nuts about the hate around her. But it's also been a outstanding amount of love for her. People just absolutely love her. They treat her like she's like some sort of angel, starting movements like Sam's the GOAT, and it's really kind of weird in how a fictional character caused so much tension in this fandom for years and years, and even with the show over, it's still there. So for this video, I do want to kind of explore the middle ground, because I think that's where the truth lies. But no one wants to seem to go there. People don't want to sacrifice their narrative on her, and it kind of turns out that most people watch her character as like a sports team where they're rooting for her to do good things so they can say, guys, look, she's a good girl, she's a good person, you guys, she's not evil like you say. And there's other people that'll watch her looking for her to make a mistake, and they'll go out there to hate her, and it's so weird. So we're gonna get into this, and I'm gonna give my opinion why she is the most frustrating character, where there's so much ups, so much downs, and her character kind of seems just like a lost character in the wind that everyone hates, loves, but never really has a true purpose. So you guys let me know what you guys think about Sam in the comments down below. Obviously, it's just my opinion. I'm gonna get right into it right now, starting with Cobra Kai season 1. So we meet Sam LaRusso in season 1 as Daniel LaRusso's daughter, and right from the start, they make it very clear that she is a good girl. She has a good heart. She wants to do the good things, but she's kind of hanging out with the wrong crowd. Well, she doesn't really actively participate in the bullying or the mean behavior to her friends. She doesn't stop them either. This includes her letting them mock her, even her childhood friend. And Sam doesn't join in this, but she is completely okay with it, I guess, by standing right next to him and doing nothing. And why does he do this? Well, you can make the case she's just a teenager girl who wants to fit in. She chooses popularity over her morals and her friends. And that's kind of a mistake that she comes to a conclusion to, but it still was a mistake to begin with. And she does eventually break away from this group, but it's only after she's humiliated by the school and no one wants her back. Now, yes, she stood up against Kyler at the movie theater after what he did, but if we're being honest, why is she okay with Kyler not to act like that, but it's acceptable for Yasmin to treat her own friends like terribly right to her face? Sam was in a situation she put herself in, and this highlights one of the main reasons people dislike her: lack of accountability. She often blames others for her problems despite growing wealthily and privileged. Speaking of privilege, we should address the rich, spoiled brat criticism. Now, throughout the whole show, people like to hate her, and even characters in the show about her being privileged and very unlikable, and people just hate her. However, I've never agreed with this as a valid reason to dislike her, because it's truly not her fault that she was born in a wealthy family. And it's clear she doesn't fully understand the struggles others face. Like Tori in season 2, Sam's perspective is limited because she assumes everyone had a good childhood like she did. She doesn't understand Tori's struggles until much later in season 5. But why hate Sam for this? It is not her fault. The only reason why people like Tori in the show hate her is because they've had awful lives. And they are jealous. They see a girl who had everything handed to her, while she had terrible things and always handed the wrong side of the book. And that jealousy turns into resentment, which feels more hate. This jealousy reminds me of why people hate Patrick Mahomes. Not to get into NFL, but for Mahomes, people root for his downfall, and they get mad when he does well. Why? Because he's the best quarterback we've seen in years. Winning 3 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs. People just hate greatness. It's not about the person themselves, but the unfairness of the situation. That's what we see in Sam: jealousy and resentment, feeling the hatred against her. And as characters feel that towards her in the show, so does the community. But back to season 1. Sam starts to date Miguel because she sees something in him. After losing her passion for popularity and hanging out with the rich kids, Miguel represents the polar opposite of what she's been used to. Things start off well until she discovers he's in Cobra Kai, which complicates everything. She doesn't want to introduce him to her dad, which is understandable because, if we're being honest, Daniel probably would have freaked out. It would have been a whole bad situation for both of them. But she should have been honest with Miguel, or her dad, or both. Instead, she lies and avoids the situation, which predictably backfires. Now let's talk about Robbie. Robbie clearly has a crush on Sam in season 1, but she shows no romantic interest in him. She even tells him she has a boyfriend right to his face without really even thinking about it, where I don't think she was even thinking about that stuff. So when she sneaks out to a party with Robbie, it, it's not about hitting on him or making Miguel jealous. However, it looks very bad. She's holding hands with Robbie and giggling, not thinking about how this would make Miguel feel. Either way, too much naive to realize what she's doing. So there's only one or two things happening here. Either she doesn't care about Miguel enough and doesn't validate his feelings and think about how he's feeling about her not being able to text him, about her kind of pushing him off to the side, and now coming down there with another dude holding hands and giggling. Either she doesn't think about Miguel enough or care about him enough to do that, or she is just not smart enough to figure this out. Either way, it's very frustrating to watch. And when Miguel fights Robbie and accidentally hits Sam, she completely cuts him off. And look, Miguel was in the wrong in that certain instant. But if she truly cared about him, she wouldn't have reached out to him and talked to things. Instead, she leaves them all behind the Del Valley. And even when Miguel apologized to her, she doesn't apologize back. And this inconsistency is just very frustrating because she expects the same courtesy back from everyone else. Like Aisha, where she goes to him, makes amends, and when Aisha kind of pushes her off to the side in season 2, she feels all butthurt, which makes her kind of a hypocrite. But even with this, we still do see a consistency that she wants what's best for everyone, and including herself. It's what she validates more, herself or others. That's where the frustration comes in. So let's get off to season 2. And season 2 is one of the most controversial seasons with her character. This is where people either die on the hill for her or die on the hill against her. So this will be a fun one to talk about. So in season 2, we see her picking up karate again, joining Miyagi-Do with her dad and Robbie, and she starts the bonding with Robbie. And while it is a bad look from hindsight, there's truly nothing really wrong with it. Even if you want to make the case that it was her fault or Miguel's fault for the relationship, at the end of the day, the relationship is over, and moving on and dating another person is not bad. However, the infamous beach club scene takes things to a whole nother level. And this is a very controversial one, so I'm going to try to talk about this objectively as possible. Sam tries to connect with Aisha, but ends up clashing with Tori. And when Tori steals a bottle of vodka, Sam calls it out, saying she could have get caught. Tori responds with a snarky, passive-aggressive remarks, escalating the situation. Sam's reaction to Tori's stealing might seem hypocritical since she used to hang out with worse people, but it's important to note that Sam has left that life behind. She sees Tori as a bad influence to Aisha, like what Yasmin was to her, and she does care for Aisha, which only fuels a dislike for Tori. And when Sam's mom loses her wallet, Sam assumes Tori stole it. But this assumption wasn't right to move in and completely rebuke her. You can't completely blame her for jumping to conclusions where she just said she could steal half the silverware, clearly is a bad influence, and now she kind of has a bit of a biasness towards her. But since jumping to conclusions, Tori actions up and pushes her down, and everything is just not good. So you could say Tori's in the right here, you could say Sam's in the right. I think both can be in the right, both can be in the wrong. You can chop up either way, but to say one's in the right and one's in the wrong, I really think that's a bit naive. I feel like if you're going to say one's wrong or one's right, it's got to be for both of them. Now let's address one of the biggest criticism for Sam, her cringy lines. And I feel like I kind of like an idiot to say this, but I feel like I have to. I'm sorry, but the writers, it's almost like they want her to hate her, or they're giving feel for people who do hate her, because the lines they give her will make you want to scream and pull your hair and jump out the window. While this doesn't really help the case on whether she's a good character or a bad character, it is a lot of reasons to make you hate her, and it's not just season 2, but it's the whole show. So if you want to hate her for that, usually I would say you're stupid, but after this line right here,
I'm coming for you, bitch.
and this one,
You think I broke your heart? You broke mine too!
and this one.
You guys need to back off.
But let's talk more about the end of season 2, where we get Sam and Robbie on the date, where Miguel and Tori are there, and right off the bat, Tori is kind of rubbing it in her face. Now, I'll make it very clear, Sam never instigated this grudge or rival. She did assume something, but she never she never really went into it. The only reason why Tori is going after her is because she's jealous that Miguel still wants her, and she's jealous that she was kind of like the privileged good girl while she's kind of the rebel, and she's a bit jealous of her lifestyle. So she uses that, you could say, insecurity to try to hurt Sam, make her feel the same way. It's pretty common with people that way, and you can't necessarily blame Tori for it. It's just kind of the way she is, and she is very young. But you also can't blame Sam for getting mad at this. But Sam kind of pushes that to the side, and she even goes up to Miguel and says, "I can't believe you're dating a person like that." Now, you could say it's naive, where she kind of put him to the side and kind of pushed him to the side. It's like, okay, well, you kind of pushed me to the side, so why do you care who I date? But at the same time, I feel like Sam is trying to get back to that good girl persona, get back to the things that are right, what she thinks is good, where everyone hated her when she was that person, where she was kind of bullying, kind of being the bad person, the bad friend, the bad girlfriend. And now she's trying to make those rights, but when she does that, she is still hated. Aisha doesn't want to talk to her. People still look at her weak. People still dislike her. And it feels like no matter what path she goes down, people are going to hate her. And you can say that she brought it upon herself, and I understand that. But in her own mind and in her own heart, I feel like she feels like there's no road to go down. But when Tori pushes her, embarrasses her, and kicks out of the entire place, I think right then and there, she throws the good girl persona away, where she's like, people are going to hate me either way, so I'm just going to do it my way. And this is where she really takes anger over what is right. Now, I think just all the reasons here. Tori is kind of forcing her to engage in this rival, so that's what she does. So on to the party scene. Let's get to, well, she gets there and she wants to start doing this whole drinking thing. And she does it, kind of embarrassing to Tori. Tori brought it upon herself, in my opinion, but throughout the thing, it's kind of going good. But she's drinking way too much, where clearly she's going for some issues, kind of, saying some snarky remarks to Robbie, like, "Oh, what are you, my babysitter?" Where she really wants to leave that good girl persona away. She doesn't want to be known that way. But then we get something very controversial. At the party, Sam drinks too much, and she ends up in Miguel's arms, thanking him for returning Miyagi's medal. Now, I make it very clear, Miguel kissed her. Miguel, who moved in on her, and Sam agreed. And look, here's the thing. At the same time, Sam was drunk. It makes you make irrational decisions, act on emotions. I don't know if Sam was... You can make the case if Sam was sober or drunk, she would have done something different. But at the end of the day, this is more Miguel's fault doing this. But I think this shows something. Miguel always loved Tori. Always loved Sam. I don't think he ever loved Tori. He just liked Tori and kind of was in the relationship with her to cope that he doesn't have Sam anymore. And I feel like Sam always still loved Robbie. Now, would she have cheated on Robbie after? Would she have cheated Robbie if he was sober? I don't know. The thing is, clearly she felt remorse for it in the later episode, which we'll get to later, and clearly it affected her. So I don't know if she would have, but what I will say is, it's not like when you're drunk you just create emotions from, the unicorn up above. Her kissing Miguel showed that she still had emotions, and if her being drunk made her act on him, maybe they did, maybe they didn't, she still had emotions for Miguel. And now she's in this huge predicament where now she doesn't know what to tell Robbie, she doesn't know what to do with Miguel. But I do think that she still would have rather have stayed with Robbie. But since Tori saw this and we get a huge school fight, the whole thing kind of blows up in her face, where now Robbie knows and there's a huge fight, and now Miguel falls down, he could be dead, Robbie runs away, and she is just completely broken, and she feels like it's all her fault, self-admittedly. This kind of concludes her in season 2, which I think she was just kind of all over the place, and I think season 3, which should be the season that's a director, and then we're going to get right into that right now. And season 3 starts off something which I think is the best thing we've seen from Sam's character, because from 1 and 2, we haven't really seen her consistently be a person. She's kind of flipping in between a persona. She's kind of making mistakes, not owning up, but she does feel remorse. So she's kind of in and out a lot of stuff. And season 3 should be the one that sets everything straight. And it starts off something very, very good, which I love, is showing this PTSD arc, where we see her feeling trauma. Because remember, Sam, she didn't grow up in a rough environment like Tori or others. She grew up in a perfect, environment. Everything was good. Her biggest trauma was maybe her goldfish dying. So when she just witnessed 2 of her boyfriends, well, not actively, but ex-boyfriend, boyfriend, one, almost get killed, could be killed, the other one running away, and both because of her, and she almost got killed by Tori. that is enough to traumatize anyone, especially a young 16, 17-year-old girl who's never experienced anything like that. So we see her just completely dramatic about it, and we see her trying to cope with it. And no matter who it is, whenever you see someone go for these, like, put in this vulnerable spot, it makes you sympathize with them. And I love how the writers did that, because it makes you sympathize with Sam, whether you love her or hate her. But however, how strong the storyline was in season 3, it had a bit of flaws and a bit of more frustration with her as a character. Because in the midst of this, we see Sam decides to go along and highlight her love for Miguel, which goes along bringing him an octopus necklace. Now, this could just be a little thing to say, welcome back, but after they kissed, it's kind of symbol of the relationship. I mean, what do you really want to say here? And I think this is very, internally wrong. And it's incredibly tone deaf considering Robbie's situation, because now Robbie's in juvie and he is going through the roughest time. And we know Sam sent him letters. I don't think Sam is cold-hearted, completely forgot about him. But it's very clear that she cared more about Miguel than Robbie in the situation, when she is the reason why Robbie's in this situation. See, Robbie and Miguel never had problems with each other. The only arguments and fights were because of Sam. They were in this love triangle that they didn't want to be a part of, and they both got confused, and they both fought each other and now almost killed each other for the sake of Sam's love. And she was right in season 2. It was her fault. It was not, I don't think she did it on purpose, but it was her fault. And if you make a mistake, especially one of this magnitude, you can't necessarily blame yourself all the time because you didn't know what you're doing. But what you can do is pick up those pieces and fix it. That's not what Sam does in season 3, or really the rest of the show. And for weeks and weeks, after Robbie doesn't reply to her letters, she just completely stops caring. Sam doesn't mention or try to reach out to Robbie, and it shows a lack of understanding and empathy for Robbie, and she never even went to go visit him. Now, of course, he's not in a position to easily process or respond. He's dealing with his own issues in there, but her lack of effort to truly reach to him makes it seem that she didn't care enough, which makes her actions with Miguel even harder to justify. Critique of her character. She often makes decisions to least favor herself, and doesn't seem to consider how it impacts others. As her PTSD arc develops, there are some great moments, like her bonding with Daniel over his own fears. These moments like this shows depth of her struggle, yet they are paired with frustration decisions, such as wrecking a romantic relationship with Miguel, fully aware of Robbie's pain enduring because of her actions. While love isn't something you can necessarily control, you can handle it. This behavior makes Sam appear narcissistic at times. But if you love both Robbie, you love both Miguel, but you love Miguel more, you can control what you love. But at the end of the time, Miguel almost died. Robbie is now in the worst pain of his life because of you, because of this love dilemma that you caused. So, out of respect to both of them, and out of empathy for both of them, you should just back off, not date any of them, and have them make up their own mind. Because if you date one, it's going to hurt the other dramatically, and cause more tension and more problems. But no, she decides to date Miguel, and validates herself over one or the other, which in this instance is Robbie. And when Robbie walks in on them, probably trying to look to talk to Sam, she kind of rubs it off as it's not what it looks what it is. Even after all this, she can't even be honest to Robbie. And then what makes it even worse, after Robbie expressed how awful and painful this was, she just goes back to Miguel, giggling, laughing, kissing, and everything happy and fun and giggles. If Robbie would have went to her and just expressed his pain to her about what she just did, I would assume that a good character who validates other people's emotions over herself would be in pain for days and weeks and trying to fix this. But we don't see that. And I feel like the writers never cared enough about this character to show that. And that's what's frustrating, because the creators show instances where she's a great person, a good soul, but it shows situations where she's not just a bad version, where she is borderline evil. And I think she could have been a good villain, a good manipulator, anything, what people think she is. And she also could have been a good character. She could have been a good flawed character, which struggles in between both of them. Instead, they just keep her lukewarm. They never go deep on anything. They never go deep on her dark side or on her bright side. They just kind of play in between of whatever is better for the story and whatever causes more drama. When you do that, it might be more fun for the story and the fights and drama, but for her character individually, she feels just like a lost sheep in the wind. That made no sense, but you guys know what I'm saying. It feels like her arc and her character throughout the whole show is just flipping and turning into whatever causes more drama. and her dark side contradicts her bright side, and her bright side contradicts her dark side, and it just completely seems weird. Because I want to like the character. You show me things that are good from this character. You show me good things you could have done. And when you get to other stuff, like in season 5, we see her like struggling with who she is. This could have been a season where you actually found her, because just like the fans, you're trying to find who this character is, as she's trying to find herself. Am I Daniel LaRusso 2.0? Am I a bad girlfriend? This is a very good thing you could have done, but instead you just brushed to the side, and she just goes back to being erratic and crazy, where she breaks up with Miguel and then gets mad at Miguel that she's dating another girl and blames him and guilt trips him, and just this whole thing is just weird. And in season 4, for example, it was even more weird, because now she does go on this whole villain thing where she's harassing Tori, where she's engaging in the rival, and now she is fighting just to beat her. And it's like, okay, was this not something you're just not trying to do in season 3? It's just so weird. And in season 5, we see her kind of just being a bad girlfriend to Miguel. The whole breakup was bad. The whole thing about guilt tripping him after just trying to live his life after she broke up with him, that was bad. And then when he's out there doing a very emotional thing for him trying to find his dad in Mexico, she's calling him saying, "What about me?" It just comes off as an emotional, abusive narcissist at times. I know that sounds like a dirty, bad word, but that's just how it is. And that's why I think I understand the criticism when people dislike her character. But at the same time, she's shown good stuff in her character. We cannot deny that. She's shown good things. She's tried to do good things. So it's just so frustrating. And here we are of season 6, the last season. This could have been the thing I wrote the wrong, because in season 5, we really do see her shift her character, kind of apologizing to Tori. And this could have been the season where you really did something big. But what did they do for the last season of Sam? Absolutely nothing. Literally nothing. She becomes a borderline background character. It feels like her persona in the show was to cause drama between this love relationship, but now the relationship are set, her role seems pointless anymore. Because at the end of the day, season 6 showed me that they don't really care about this character. And her whole role in the show was not to be an interesting character. It was not supposed to be the GOAT. It was not supposed to be the terrible girlfriend. It was just supposed to be one simple thing: a drama tool. She was just there to create drama between boyfriends and just be a fun character with corny lines. And that's really what it is. She never had an arc. She never had a start, middle, and finish. It just seemed like her character was pointless. In season 6, when there was no love drama, that's exactly what her character was. A background character. Tell me what her arc was in season 6. Let me see here. She talks to Tori. Okay. Tori goes to Cobra Kai. Okay. Axel's on the beach. Yeah, I feel bad. I quit the All Valley, or the Sagatai guy. Go get him, Tori. Like, what the hell? I'm sorry, dude. It's just, that right there shows me that this character never really had a true purpose, where she could have had potential to be a great, flawed character. She had all the potential to be the great Sam LaRusso, the great, Angel, or the Peacemaker. She also had the potential to be a great villain, but they never commit to one thing or another, and they really just use her to maneuver around the story. And because of that, that's why she's the most frustrating character, and that's why she created the most tension in the show in Cobra Kai. Well, there it is, guys. That's what I think about Sam LaRusso. Obviously, you guys let me know what you think about the comments down below. And look, I really do want to love her. At times, she was one of my top 5 favorite characters, because they're doing things with her character that seemed very interesting. But now that we get in season 6, it was just a pure manipulation by the creators, in my opinion. I feel like all that was just persona to make the character move the story in a different way, and they really never cared about her character enough. And I feel like her whole character was just to create storylines to other characters and to add on to other arcs and not her own. And that's why she is just so frustrating to me. But you guys let me know anything about the same character in the comments down below. Obviously, just be respectful, because when you either insult or praise Sam, and someone takes it like you're insulting their family. So remember, guys, it's a fictional character, and Mary Mauser, she's a great actor. She did very good as Sam character. For what the writers wrote her for. Remember, she doesn't write the script. She's not the character in real life. Sometimes people forget that, but yeah. Thanks for watching this video, guys. More videos to come. I have it. I think this will come out Wednesday, so my Daredevil episode 3 review will be out. To check that out. And yeah, Breaking Bad, Sopranos, all that stuff. Videos will be coming out. And guys, for new shows, if you guys have any shows or movies you want me to watch, let me know. Right now, I'm watching Game of Thrones and Dexter, so I haven't seen a lot of shows. I haven't seen The Boys. I haven't seen The Wire. I haven't seen, a lot of shows, a lot of movies. So let me know in the comments down below. if there's any movies or shows that I might not have watched, I'll let you know if I've seen them, because I do want to talk about all things that you guys like and I like. We can all just have a fun time talking about movies and shows. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Always remember, extreme situations are extreme measures. Peace.